Is that George Lopez? George, what are you doing? Why are you flying? Who are these other people? Is that Lowrider? Am I wearing a short sleeve hoodie just to make myself seem cool? Yes, I am. What's up, y'all? I don't have any in my notes, so I don't know what to do. Should probably fix that. Today, we're here to talk about children. Well, us as children, our childhoods, not today's children, because that would be weird and possibly illegal, so not doing that. Specifically, I want to talk about our childhood memories, and even more specifically, one childhood memory, and that would be the George Lopez show. We all remember it. For some reason, we all remember the George Lopez show. Even if you probably don't remember it, you do. Just think a little bit, pause, think. You do. The other day, I don't know why, but I was thinking about the show. And I was trying to piece together just the whole situation behind the show. How was George Lopez in the position to have a show named after him? How did he get this show? And really, I didn't remember much of the show itself, so I wanted to go and revisit that. And then I started to think, I couldn't tell you one thing about all of this. And I'm sure a lot of you are in the same position as I am, so I thought might as well, let's just make a video about it and learn about it. So that's what we're doing. Let's dive a little deeper into this whole big-ass communal memory that we have. So I was thinking about this, and I couldn't really remember why George Lopez was famous. I mean, obviously that's how it works. Man gets famous, man gets TV show, man names TV show after him. Simple equation. It's kind of how it works. But I didn't know what the deal with George Lopez was. Did he have an insanely successful career in comedy? Did he already have an established acting career? I didn't know because I wasn't born. The show started 2002. I was born in 99. Okay, give me a break. Alright, I was a child. I was this big. But for the life of me, I could not remember why George Lopez was so famous and successful that he could have a sitcom named after him. And that's because he wasn't. He wasn't successful. He wasn't famous. Okay, he was kind of successful, but he wasn't famous. He wasn't a big shot. They just gave him a show. We all thought he was some famous guy. He was just a dude. He was a stand-up comic who got a show, and now we all know him. I don't know. That could just be me. I thought he was famous before this, but he wasn't. This is what made him famous. The show made him famous, which is still super weird to me. That's just something I didn't know about the whole situation, so it kind of threw me off. And think about it, the marketing genius to name the show after you so everyone immediately recognizes your name. Immediate name recognition. Genius. Anyways, so the story of how the show got together is actually kind of interesting. So apparently George Lopez, who had a stand-up career before all this in the early 90s, he really wanted to have this sitcom, and he had this idea of an all-Latino cast for a sitcom because it's not really seen in television. It just isn't. But obviously he didn't have the means to pitch this idea, and it actually took a push from an actual famous person to get the ball rolling and get this show made. And that famous person just so happened to be Sandra Bullock. This was the big huh moment. Apparently Sandra loved George's comedy stuff and decided to help him get this whole thing going and start the show. How crazy is that? The whole reason that the George Lopez show is a memory of ours and was part of our childhood is because the mom from The Blind Side stepped in. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's not even all. She was in the show.
You want this? Can you twirl?
Our guy George was a stand-up comic, then just got a TV show. And now I have a little conspiracy over the whole late night, we always woke up watching it thing. So I'm pretty sure, could be wrong, this is probably all fake here. This is all fake news. I'm pretty sure the whole marketing squad, publicity squad behind the George Lopez show had this scheme to buy out all of like the 2 to 5 a.m. slots on Nick at Night or whatever television station it was on. And they bought out all those slots. And for those episodes, so they played reruns during those times of the George Lopez show. But for the specific editions that they sent in for those time slots, they secretly amped up the volume just a little bit. So when you played it back, the volume was slightly higher than it would be at like a 7 o'clock slot. Now that is why a lot of us have the memory of us waking up and seeing George Lopez jump across our screen. Because they slightly lifted the volume. Not enough for us to notice, but enough for us to wake up. And that is why we were so connected to the show, and that is why ratings were so good during the second season, as they did the reruns after the first. The ratings were at its best during the second season of the show. That's a fact. This is my conspiracy theory. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, let's get back to the facts. Apparently, according to the people of the internet, these reruns that we were used to seeing when we woke up as children were still being played for up to a decade after the show was canceled, which is probably just explained because the broadcast rights were probably super low for this kind of show, and they could easily be bought and just thrown in for these time slots because no one really watched this TV anyways. But still interesting note that 10 years after the show ended, they were still showing these reruns. So we're gonna have a whole nother generation of kids just with George Lopez in the back of their mind. So it's kind of interesting. Now let's enter into probably the coolest part of this whole research thing for me. So I went back and watched a few episodes of the actual show, and it was actually pretty cool because it was actually a really good show. Like, probably not like a show I would go back and like rewatch season after season, but like just the way it was put together, it was a very well done show. First of all, they had an all Latino cast, which was unheard of at this time and unfortunately still rare today. The comedy works really well. It's really well timed. The characters are really well developed. They're well liked. They're relatable. And the part that a lot of people are probably gonna forget or probably won't remember is that the show's base and like the plot of it was driven by a very dark undertone. I don't know if you guys remember this, but George's character, it was mostly based off his own life, and for pretty much the entire run of the show, George's character is chasing after his father, who left him and his mother when he was very young. He doesn't remember his dad. And then once he finds his dad's history of abuse and just abusive behaviors kind of reveal themselves throughout the show. And then eventually the dad dies. Yeah. Happy sitcom. But for real, like, the show handles this kind of grave matter really well. It does like an unusually good job at balancing like serious issues with humor and good humor, not just like fake humor to throw in some jokes every now and then. Like, it mixes well. It feels real. Like, take a scene like this, for example. This is where George meets his biological father for the first time after he left. They're both grown now. And just look at this first part.
You know who I am?
You from the city?
No.
Union rep?
I'm George Lopez.
George? I was expecting a call, but this is even better.
I thought we should talk in person.
Good, good, good. Sit down, sit down. How's your mother?
Same.
Well, that's too bad. My God. Look at you.
In one of the most serious moments of the show, like that's a funny joke. It's a good joke. They mix in the darkness with the comedy, and it somehow works.
Why did you leave?
Look, the past is the past. What's important is I can help you now.
I don't need your help now. I needed a father. I mean, how could you leave a family? You had a responsibility.
I wasn't getting along with your mom. It wasn't much of a life. But things have turned out for the best. You came out okay, and look how well I've done for myself.
You think you're a success? Look, I don't care how many checks you write, and I don't care how big your company is. You're a failure. And you can't buy me.
Hey, you know what? You got this cockiness from me.
Man, I didn't get anything from you but a letter full of excuses. Even without a father, I'm more of a man than you'll ever be.
All right, that's it. That's enough.
You left a woman sitting in her living room with a kid and no way to make ends meet. You turned your back on us.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done.
The only mistake I've made was leaving you with that crazy cabrona.
That's for my mother.
Wow. That's pretty good TV. I mean, despite like the low quality fake punch, but like you can't really ask for much more emotion out of a sitcom. Like it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty emotional stuff and like gripping material. And now look how they finish it up. Look how they finished that scene. One of the most emotional scenes in the entire season, in the entire show.
Now I'm done.
297.
Seatbelts on, seatbelts on. Go, 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 go. He wasn't there.
Like that's the beauty of the show. Like that's cool. That's a cool little way to do this scene where there's a lot of emotion packed in. It can easily turn into just like a soap opera kind of scene where it's just super dramatic all the way. But they throw in this line at the end, just kind of lighten the mood a little bit, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. That scene right there sums up the entire show. All these crazy, weird memories we might have about this show, at least we had good taste. And to be honest, I don't know why I spent a whole video dissecting a 58-year-old man's life, but I don't know why you sat through it either. So, looking in the mirror here. But for real, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, comment some other weird memories you might have from childhood, I don't know. And then make sure to subscribe if you're new. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which would help me find the vindication to leave my job and my wife, my kids, and my home. So please just help me on my way to that goal. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Take care. Peace.
Yeah, dream girl, dreaming, I be dreaming. Missing all the days you got me fiending. I said I love you, babe, you know I mean it. Hey, yeah, dream girl, I be dreaming.